That's all that you need. He sees Trump now winning every single swing state in an electoral college blowout with one caveat, which is what happens tomorrow night here in Philadelphia. Now, little added bonus, it's in the works. It's taken some legwork, some stuff still to be done. But I'm going to be on tomorrow night from the spin room. Second time I've been in the spin room.
Hey.
Going to be on with Walter Sterling, the Walter Sterling Show. And who knows who might be in that spin room. I got to say.
Who are you hoping for?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You know what? That may be the thing tomorrow. Who would you like to see in the spin room for the side question? We got another great
Bruce
one
Springsteen,
today.
come on.
Oh, man, if the boss showed up and said all hands on deck, I'm getting some quotes. I'm getting right in there in the middle. Tell me, Mr. Springsteen, I have a producer who hates you. How do you give such an athletic and overwhelming 3 or 4 hour performance? My God. I think I'd throw a softball, like a rhetorical softball, not demanding any answer, then right in with the question. Like, are you kidding me? What do you know about any of this? We'll let you have all the details tomorrow. Just getting over there and getting the credentials. I have to say, ABC News, ultimately, when I got to the right people, and they kept on sending me through people who were moving it forward, when I finally got to the right one, they were very good. So I'll give you the exact time and all that tomorrow night that as this is an operation, and it's heavy duty getting to these places. Tomorrow night, of course, we have our buddies at 6:30 over at 6 in Cowa Hill. Joe from South Philly. Remember last week, the big story on Monday, the Kamala Harris poster will be there along with Leanne Savaloff and I'm sure Jody Delabarber and all of them. The flag wave for President Trump. You have to register from that. We'll give you the details. They want to do it so there's no elements that get into this just to disrupt it and try to make them look bad. So that is a big, big event tomorrow that I'm sure will get a tremendous amount of coverage. And it'll be interesting to see if Trump honks the horn or what he does as he goes by, going to the convention center for the debate starting at 9 o'clock. All right, I want to play you, though. Kamala Harris has put out, it's still very vague, but she put this out late last night or early this morning on her website, her policies now. They don't address fracking. They don't address reparations. They don't address the border, really. They don't address all these Medicare for all. So they're asking Bernie Sanders yesterday on, it wasn't on Fox News. He was on, I'm trying to remember the host with Sanders yesterday. He was on one of the big Sunday shows, and they're asking Sanders, well, these change up positions, Bernie. Doesn't this mean Kamala Harris, who was arguably more progressive than you, doesn't it mean she's no longer a progressive, that she's dropping these far left policies? And you got to love Bernie. I guess he thought he was being very clever. He wasn't. Here's what Sanders said.
As a progressive, she has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. My own view is slightly different. I think that in America today there are a lot of people, rural people, working class people, who no longer believe that the United States Congress and government represents their interests, too dominated by big money interests.
All right, so that's the signal. She's doing what she needs to do to get elected. Now, we mentioned on Friday that I'll be on CNN tonight at 11 o'clock, and I've been prepping for this one because, you know, it's not like going on Fox. I'll be on with a guy from Philadelphia that I know. He'll be taking the Harris side. I'll be taking the Trump side. And the question is, what do you hope to see? They want to know what listeners hope to see in tomorrow night's debate. Now, I can't say, well, they just want Trump to mop the floor up with her. What we want to see, I think, at 855-839-1210, what we want to see is that skillfully the ABC moderators drill down with Harris and with Trump, even here. They can ask Trump on abortion. When did you change your position? And the one that I think is the most important, now it's not the most important issue, but it's the most important to the election, is fracking. Meaning drilling down on why now. Her answer seems to be on fracking that we've done so wonderfully with the environment. We don't have to worry about curtailing fracking anymore. Is that going to hold up? That's not what Bernie Sanders or the left would say. That's not reality either. And over the weekend, it's come out, and I'm not sure if Trump will bring this up. I hope he's being coached up to bring this up, that the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, is on the short list to be the Attorney General of the United States. And you may remember that guy, Keith X. He went by. Louis Farrakhan guy when he was in Congress. Yeah, he's on the short list to be Attorney General. I would have to go for that if I were Trump tomorrow night. Get that out there. People start researching it, et cetera. It's a tell toward Harris and what she'll really do. And that just started to break over the last 24 hours or so. So we have that going on. Kellyanne Conway, this is 7A, Dan, was kind of a template yesterday on Fox News Channel. Well, she wasn't on. She was debating somebody, a Democrat strategist, and here's what she said. Well, 7B is better. Here's what she said with this Democrat strategist, Jose Aristomundo, about what Democrats are saying Trump would do on abortion. Here's what Kellyanne said.
When does life and due process begin, according to her?
Well, look, there's no question, and she's talked about the whole issue with some liberals in New York. I know Republicans love to remind people, no, Democrats want to make sure that Democrats want women to get abortion until 9 months. That's not true. It's only till the first trimester. Most Democrats and most Americans would agree it's maybe 8 or 12 weeks, if that. It's not, Kelly, you know that's not true. There's a few Democrats in New York.
What's the law? I'm sorry, I can't have
generalizing
you
that all
lie when I'm
Democrats-
sitting on the set. What is the law in California and New York? You got it? Do you know what the law is in California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and Colorado? It is not 8 or 12 weeks, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kellyanne Conway, I hope, is still involved with the campaign, is right on the money there. I can't let you lie sitting on the set here. So Trump has ample grounds, but he's got to be very specific on the abortion issue. If they want to drill down, why did you change this? You'll put a national abortion ban in. Okay, that's fair. He can answer that. But with Harris, what I need to see is an attempt, at least, and the back and forth on this, to get to the point of all these changes. When did these happen? Why did these happen? If you want to be believed on them, which you're not going to be here, but I'm talking about the people that are still convincible, then you got to tell us how this change evolved. What values were in here that changed around? I can't resist this one, though, so I want to make sure I play it now before we really get going here. Elton John over the weekend, and I thought Elton John would trash Trump. Did Elton John play at Rush Limbaugh's wedding? Was it Elton John? I believe he did. I know it was somebody huge, where it had to be millions of dollars. You're not getting them for just $1 million. Our fact checkers, Henry in the booth there and Dan, are going to work on that one. I think I'm accurate. Here's what Elton John said about Rocket Man and Trump.
I know that you're not a supporter of Donald Trump's. He loves your music. How did it feel when he took the lyrics to Rocket Man and he used it as a nickname for Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un...
I laughed. I thought it was brilliant. I just thought, good on you, Donald. I'm the Rocket Man, yeah. Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. I've always been friendly towards him, and I thank him for his support. Yeah, when he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
He gave Kim one of your CDs and signed it. That was in one of the books about him because Kim, I guess, didn't know the song. So,
What's that?
He gave Kim Jong-un the signed CD.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
he'd never heard of it.
I know, because he hasn't heard of me, Kim Jong-un. Maybe I'd be very surprised if he had. I've never toured North Korea, and I have no intention of doing so. But it was. I thought it was a light moment, and it was fun.
All right, Trump is fun. See, even Elton John, who's not a fan. And now Ron Howard over the weekend, not so much. He's on a tour for something he's doing now, and he's appalled by the rhetoric of J.D. Vance. He's amazed after Hillbilly Elegy. Really, Ron Howard? Come on. That's where you are in this. All right,
I'll
so
that audio here in a second if you want to give me just a sec to grab the Ron Howard.
Okay, so did Elton John play at Rush Limbaugh's wedding?
He did.
Thank you, Henry. What are the facts on that?
Well, he's paid $1 million to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And when asked about, why would you have Elton John to play at your wedding, Elton John said, "Life is about building bridges, not walls."
Oh, man.
Oh, what a guy.
Only $1 million. I thought that was cheap, given the politics of it. You know, given it's Elton John, maybe not at the exact pinnacle.
Apparently, if you go to scarletevents.com, you can book him yourself, Tom.
Okay, there you go. All right.
I think it's 1.5 now, though.
I'm sure Johnny Z at Mulligan's will write that. We'll need to
yeah, Johnny, get on it, man.
knock down the walls and go forward with that. All right, so 855-839-1210. What is it you want to hear in the debate tomorrow night? Let me give you the side question. This apropos, we had something completely different we said on Friday. We're saving that maybe till tomorrow. Dan tells me yesterday, waking up at midnight.
Oh, later than that.
Or later. and having to have applesauce. But if it wasn't Musselman's, that craving could not be satisfied. So we're looking for something where it's got to be the brand name. And I'll tell you where my bias is on this. It may be something very small, where how could you tell the difference? But if it's not the brand name, I'll give you one. Playing golf. I can't hit a golf ball unless it's a Callaway. If I run out of Callaways, I borrow them from Luke. I try to stock up. It's got to be a Callaway. If it's some knockoff ball, even
Henry,
on
are you a golfer? Are you a Nike guy? I feel like you're a Nike guy.
even on a water hole, I'm reluctant to hit a bad ball. Even then, I don't like hitting it. I keep them for, I have a whole thing in my bag of them for emergency if I ever run out of Callaways.
See, for me, all the balls feel the same when I'm hitting them into the woods. So I don't really
shanking them.
Can't share that with you.
Well, yeah, I guess if it's a bad ball, you can blame that if it doesn't go far enough. But it's got to be a Callaway. All right, so Henry, how about yours? Is there a brand, and it might be something minor like applesauce, where it's got to be
It's not minor, Dom. Stop diminishing my applesauce.
It's kind of minor.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Applesauce?
Me and Maisie go back and forth. She buys me the off-brand crap from ShopRite. It doesn't taste the same. It doesn't have the same chunkiness, the flavor, the freshness of Musselman's applesauce.
We should do a taste test with this.
I'll bring in generic. I'll bring in, and you can clearly tell a difference. I'll bet you a pizza.
For me, what jumped off to me immediately as soon as I heard this question was Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
The generic Oreos are terrible.
I didn't even know there was such a thing allowed.
Oreos are a knockoff.
Yeah.
Oreos are a knockoff, but you know what? They did it best.
Okay.
They might have done second, but they did it best. And store brand generic just don't add up. They taste terrible.
All right, that's your side question today. The good news, this New York Times Siena poll clearly shows that Trump has the momentum, has the electoral map right now. And just as predicted, now it's not going to be as bad as in 2020 because there's too much riding on it. Kamala Harris, the longer it goes on, the less this works. Evidence of that, that's why they put out the policy yesterday. They don't want to put out any policy. One that bothers me, she says that she is not wanting a tax on tips at people that make tips. Guess what? Even with this, she can't let go. If you make over $75,000, though, she wants to tax it. I told that to Roe today, and I'm not sure about Henry. Dan's worked in various businesses, but I'd love to hear from some. How do you make $75,000 as a waiter? There are places and businesses and people so good that they make that amount. Even the Inquirer's written articles on it. Harris also would keep the employer part of this, the tax, the payroll part, keep that on them. So there's no policy when she says no tax on tips or any of these policies. There's always something more limiting. For example, border wall. But if you get here, you get so-called earned citizenship. So even with the tax for tips, there's restrictions. I know. How many people making $75,000 a year in tips? I don't know. Caddies. Now, in the Pro Tour, every single one of them probably makes more than that. But various people in various things that are really good or really in a lucrative spot, they apparently wouldn't be covered or covered as much. Now, she's not really wanting to not tax tips. She wanted to say that for Nevada, where you have so many people that are working on tips, Vegas, etc. Okay, 855-839-1210. That's the line that's open. That's how you get on board. We're going to talk with Andy McCarthy on Friday. We got the news that Judge Marchand now will not sentence until November 24th or something of that ilk. In addition to that, Andy's the one that wrote the book, Ball of Collusion, about Russia. So he's got a lot to say, and we'll set you up for tomorrow night if you want to participate in that flag waving. There's a bunch of other things. The Young Republicans Watch Party you're invited to. We'll make sure you know more about that. 855-839-1210.
Talk Radio 1210's huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked. It should be the same in your retirement years. Let us show you how. Call JML Financial Group today at 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. So, when your neighbor's sunbathing in the front yard,
Harry, you're an idiot. Get away from the window.
keep your eyes focused where they should be, on enjoying your retirement. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Hey, Riverton, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in. As I said, even with the no tax on tips with Kamala Harris, there are restrictions. There's none of that with Trump. And those like the Wall Street Journal who say, how dare you, this is a failed economic policy. Hey, Wall Street Journal and everybody else. Every day that we can cut taxes in some way, shape, or form, that's a good day. That's what we should be doing. Win, win, win. Cut, cut, cut. That ought to be our strategy. I don't begrudge to you that somebody that your money goes further. I know some of you try to put it down as a gift to anything, so they get more money for it. That's what we want. More money in the hands of people, not in the hands of Kamala Harris and progressives. So she wants to glom onto this because it was a brainstorm by Trump and a really good one. But then she wants to put all sorts of government red tape and restrictions in there, particularly on employers. All right, Larry Krasner is protecting the integrity of the election. We'll play you some of the things said today, including these phony commissioners. You know what? Stop telling us about election deniers, Omar Sabir, and all that stuff. Just count the votes. Don't stop counting the votes.
Oh, he took off his glasses today. He was serious.
Uh-oh. Yeah, when Larry takes off the glasses, you know. By the way, he has those glasses, too, and I was thinking about getting them, and just because of him, I didn't. With new glasses where they change shades if you're in the sun. I feel like I'm not in control of that. A little bit.
It's true. And you go into like a store that happens to be kind of dark, and you're still sitting there with his sunglasses.
Yeah, right. How long does it take?
Who's this guy wearing his sunglasses inside?
How long does it take to change over? I mean, I'd rather have either a sunglass or not a sunglass. All right, here's a little bit of Krasner, and of course the Republican on the committee. They're all in this together. Integrity of the vote. You know what the integrity of the vote is? Let me define it for you. That you keep counting. You bring in the best machinery. Linda Kearns has talked about this. And you have crew after crew after crew. Your job is to shut up about election integrity. You want to restore faith in the system. Let's not have a result where Trump is ahead, then suddenly 3 days later, oh, no, he's not. We found the votes. Get them counted a lot quicker than you did in the past. And no, we don't need to change the law of mail-in balloting to do that. You're supposed to be able to handle this. You get paid a lot of money. You're getting a lot for so-called election integrity. All right, here's what they said, Krasner, today.
Thank you, gentlemen. It is now my pleasure to call forward Chairman Omar Sabir of the city.
Press the wrong one. Sorry about the dumb.
City Solicitor's Office, where they are doing what they do best, which is continuing to prepare for the upcoming elections. And I say elections because there's a special election coming before the November election. Those two members of the task force are Brian Collins and also Joshua Barnett, both of whom you may have seen on a different topic at a prior press conference. But we have three others with us today, and that is because we are staffing the election task force. We are continuing a very long tradition of having an election task force, but we are trying to do it bigger and trying to do it better, because I think everyone understands how very important it is to make sure every vote is counted from whatever source and based upon...
Hold it, for whatever source. Every legal vote is counted, but continue. Sorry about that, Larry.
We have with us ADA Matt Stigler.
Just
with the
introduces
election
people after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all this is fine, you know, and again, the thing that will help to restore faith in this is to get the votes, particularly in Philadelphia, with no delay. Now, already, Al Schmidt and others have sent out warning signals that they are going to be looking at delays, and who knows when we'll get this and all the rest of it. So that's all fine. Let's go to Dave.
I do have a little bit more audio here, too,
okay,
if you want it.
Go ahead.
Here you go.
November, and to discuss more generally election protection and all details of how you participate as a voter. It doesn't matter who you support. What matters is that you vote, and it matters that you know that your vote is going to be counted. Just a reminder, in case anybody forgot, last presidential election, a couple guys thought it made sense to come to Philly to mess with the counting of the vote. and then they got arrested, and then they got incarcerated, and then they got convicted for felonies. We are not messing around. Anybody who is of the opinion that they can come here and do things that are violations of the rules, violations of the law, is going to have the consequences they deserve for messing with democracy. We will not tolerate it. I will not tolerate it, and there will be consequences. The good news, though, is hopefully the knuckleheads have learned their lesson at this point. And if they haven't, we'll teach them another one.
All right, Larry, do we hear about the knuckleheads? And I played it on the air, Dan. I had it live on the air here, where they won't seat the minority, meaning the Republican poll watcher, where they cause trouble with them. They won't give them a chair. They threaten them. They say, go see your lawyers and all the rest of it. When are we going to hear that part of it? When are we going to see some prosecution on that? All right, 855-839-1210. They're starting up already. It's armed hand-to-hand combat here in Philadelphia. This is the epicenter. Now, we'll see if Republicans can match this time around. They have a lot of poll watchers. I know they have another training tonight. We need them in every precinct. And again, lawyers are good, but you need people there to support you and say, I have a right to be here. I'm watching this poll. Is Larry Krasner going to support? Of course he's not. That's why Philadelphia has such a bad reputation. And again, with these commissioners, we've had one of them on before. Your job is to give us an update. What have you done to improve so that you're going to be accurately and swiftly able to count those votes and get this done in a timely manner? I mean, I realize it might not happen by midnight or 1 in the morning. A reasonable time would be sometime the next morning, not 4 days later, where we then think, well, they're just waiting to see how many votes they need, because it's going to be very, very tight in Pennsylvania. All right, Dave is in Delaware, and Dave is on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dave, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me in. Love your show. I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
The only comment I had was that I think Kamala's really basically saying with her $75,000 cutoff is, screw you if you want to work a second job because you want to get ahead. You have no right to work harder than other people.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have a girlfriend who's a nurse, and she works on the weekends. My daughter works on the weekends, and she has a regular job, but she also waitresses for extra money. I have friends that bartend. They all make over $100,000 when you combine those two incomes together. They're trying to get ahead, and she's saying, you don't deserve to work harder to make more money. We're going to double tax you and not tax somebody that's lazy, frankly.
Thank you. I had it wrong. I thought this was on the 75, but it's the net income or the gross income of 75 a year. Right. How is that? It just shows the mindset. Thank you, Dave. It shows you the mindset here of still the progressive. She's trying to glom on to be able to say no tax on tips, but if you make over 75 a year by doing these two things, we're going to tax you then. You're in a different class. And also there's penalties for the employer. The employer still has to follow through and stuff. It's not the Trump plan. It's not the idea of we're not going to tax you on your tips. And again, if you get in the camp, well, come on, Dom, that's singling out a group of people. We have to continue to single out and liberate every American from what they do to us. The rate of taxation is completely out of control. All right, so 855-839-1210, you get on board. Andy McCarthy will be here to break down all these legal things at about 12:45. And Alina Abba, who is the president's lawyer, one of the president's lawyers, has a lot of updates on what's going to happen next with Jack Smith and what he's trying to do, again, before the election. And we'll get you set for the debate tomorrow night. You want to participate, the flag waving and other stuff, we'll have that. All right, 855-839-1210, you get on board. Hey, it's so important to make sure our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did and count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap? It's crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, but it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail are just fantastic. They'll come out to your home, test your water, recommend solutions. It makes sense. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. They took great care of the Giordanos. You can do that by clicking on martinwater.com or calling 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Tell them Dom G sent you.
Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
Very pleasant and quiet conditions remain in place through the week. Plenty of sunshine today, high temperature a bit below average at 79. Clear and comfortable tonight, low 60 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. A bit warmer on Tuesday, the sunshine continues with a high 81.
Ready for fall? Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no questions asked warranty in the business. When you schedule your consultation, ask about their special radio offer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
Conklin doing his thing, his best voices, his best shtick. Joe's family is just, they're like back from the Osmonds. They're Osmonds on steroids. They're unbelievable.
They made fun of the Cowboys, though. I've known him for such a long time, but I did not know he could sing like that.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Now, your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Get in on that side issue. Some good ones on Twitter. Coming off Dan and this Musselman's applesauce.
Don't make fun of it, Dom. Maisie makes fun of it too, and I think it's maybe because I need sugar at night or something, but I'm always chugging. I chug it straight from the bottle too. Is that gross?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? Don't grab applesauce in my house.
I don't use them anymore, and I have to watch even talking about them because it would set me off. Somebody on Twitter has Q-tips. You can't get anything other than a Q-tip.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The
Not
paper's
the same
just flimsy.
Thing.
It breaks down quick.
It's horrible. You need the brand name. You need the real thing.
A lot on mayonnaise, too. Apparently people are very
I think so.
loyal
sure.
to mayonnaise companies.
I would think mustard, too. You can't be using knockoff mustard.
I disagree.
Mustard's mustard.
Like spicy mustard
right.
is spicy mustard.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
all I
see
eat.
what people say about that. Okay. One note so that I don't forget, because the volunteers and the stuff that goes on is all out. Yesterday, I guess it's at least, I don't know, the 12th to 15th time I've gone over to Cooper River for the annual 9/11 run, and it gets better every year. It was a tremendous turnout of runners. The Mannion Foundation there, and again, 60 Minutes last night, for once, did a great job memorializing coming up, which is on Wednesday, 9/11. We forget. How about in schools? Ro and I were talking about this. Look, do I want more laws saying to these people in the public schools particularly, or even private, you know what? You're going to have to do something, and you're going to have to document on a 9/11. But if we don't, what are they doing? What's happening in your kid's school? And by the way, Woodbury schools, apparently they think they have the juvenile who put threats up online and really set people off over the weekend, so much so that they shut down a number of schools. And we got this age-old dilemma. You know, I can't decide. They have to decide. Abundance of caution versus shutting down schools again because of some punk who puts this stuff up. It's really hard to make that judgment. You know, if you're in charge and something happens and you didn't shut down, what's going to happen to you? So, again, you'll see this after the last school shooting. There is a report that in the school shooting in Georgia, the mom allegedly, now this was over the media over the weekend, called the school a half hour in advance and warned about the son. I haven't seen that run down to know why more wasn't done with this, because this kid was obviously somebody that people knew. So we'll see how that ultimately plays out. But tomorrow night's debate could be the moment that Kamala Harris gets out of this momentum drip. What's happened is it's slowed down tremendously. All the vibes and goodwill, nonsense. They put stuff up on their website today, some policies, and they're not really policies. And I think Dave in Delaware is right, though. Can you actually say you want to take away the tax on tips, except for those that might do this part-time to, and look, people are looking all the time for wait staff. And then they're over 75,000, they wouldn't get that benefit. Wow. That apparently is the restriction, along with some restrictions on employers, too. And all the Wall Street Journal types in the world, go to hell. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a bad economic policy. Winners and losers. You're just like the liberals. No, it's not. It's saying we're going to fight you in every way that we can to cut taxes. You got to wake up in the morning and say, how can I cut even a minimal amount? Start with a minimal amount. Win that bridgehead. That's what it's about. It's getting on the beaches. It's Normandy. Every day, this is what you have to do with progressives, because they're waking up every day like Kamala Harris and trying to say, I'm against taxes on tips, and then putting in restrictions as she says it. Isn't this the ultimate battle? Isn't this the ultimate distinction? People that get it, people make better decisions with their own money. The more money government gets, the worse it gets. It's pretty simple. You could give, we said this how many times? You could give the Philadelphia public schools 3, 4, or 5 times their billions of dollars right now. Would they have, why in the world does Philadelphia public schools not have air conditioners? I could see in the middle of a debate bringing that up, Trump saying that we're in Philadelphia. Did you know they have $4.5 billion budget? They won't have air conditioning until 2027, they hope. You might sound like a maniac then, because we know the story here, though. How in the world could that be? Well, it's that way because that's what progressivism is. All right, Robert in Ben Salem checks in. He's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, how you doing? Dan, it's good to talk to you guys. Probably because 70 to 71 cents out of every school dollar goes to administration. That's why they don't have the money to do the things they need to do. But they do have money for all the illegal immigrants. But at any rate, You know, your tax story about their proposals reminded me of a saying. It seems like for Republicans, every day is July 4th, and for Democrats, every day is April 15th. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
It's in their DNA. But at any rate, I'm going to go with a boring but answer I very much believe in. It's the only brand I have loyalty to, really. I'm going to go with Red Rose Tea. My grandmother used to make it. It's been around. It's actually a Jersey thing, Dan. It started in New Brunswick in 1894. And it's just, they used to have figurines in it all the time. I don't know if they still do anymore.
Is that why you're buying it, Robert, for the toys?
Oh, God.
Well, I guess so. Well, I thought it was neat when I was little, and they were kind of like collectible keepsakes when I got older. But it's just good tea. That's all there is to it. And I will leave it at that, and I appreciate it. Great show as always, guys. I will talk to you later. You have a great day, all right?
Thank you, Robert, very much.
To pursue that,
Red
Tom?
Rose Tea. We'll put that one down.
What do you do? Your tea that you do. It's some kind of British tea, isn't it?
No,
fog
it's the where's the
you have a very specific tea that you do, and it's like
it's-
pomegranate or something.
Yeah,
right?
pomegranate. It's
Ugh.
Bigelow green tea, pomegranate. I got that from the trip to Israel. These guys squeezing in there these giant pomegranates. Pomegranate juice is the ultimate antioxidant.
Really?
And in Israel,
Okay.
and there were a lot of Arab merchants that were squeezing it too. That's right before Johnny, the Arab guide, and I got into it on the bus about terrorism. Oh, man. Thank God I had my tea already. All right, coming up, the great Andy McCarthy with us from National Review, Fox News Channel. What happens next in this ongoing situation with President Trump? Democrats got the label. You're going to hear it tomorrow night. Well, you're a felon. That will come up over and under said quite a bit. Probably, I'm speaking now, too. The mics are shut off. People can say, go ahead. Nobody's bothering you with Kamala Harris. I don't know that you'll be able to use that. But there's several things still going on with President Trump and the legal deal that we'll give you an update on. Get in on the side question, too. 855-839-1210. The House GOP has released a scathing report on Afghanistan. You know, given all the things Americans have been through during the Biden years, isn't it encouraging that considerable numbers of Americans still are outraged over Afghanistan, the withdrawal? They are paying attention to it. They do remember. Now, I'm not saying they then say Harris was the architect of it as much as Biden, but people haven't forgotten about it. All right, how are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is key to a strong heart and overall wellness. And for over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements is designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and a lot more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. You reach them at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, at res-q.com.
Hey, it's Ike Reese. These days, everything in Philly costs more. But a single line at Verizon doesn't. Get one line for as low as $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while coffee is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. And dinner for two has gotten pricey. Verizon, less pricey. Logan Square rent, that's not coming down anytime soon. But Verizon, down. One line for just $50 a month. Limited edition sneakers, through the roof. One line from Verizon, through the floor. That designer golden doodle, so much more, but Verizon, a fair bit less. Even a good old tried and true hamburger will cost you more. But with Verizon, the same tried and true service is now just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Point is, in a world that is always costing more, you can get more for less right now at a Philly Verizon store.
$15 promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Chase believes that having a place of your very own should be accessible for everyone. That's why we're offering homebuyer grants of up to $7,500 in select areas. It's just one of the many ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality. Visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. The Chase Homebuyer Grant is available on primary residence purchases only, on select products and subject to eligibility. All home lending products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Another summer has come and gone. The air is crisper, and of course, football is back. That means the holidays will be here soon. Time to get off the sidelines and huddle up with Cozy Jewelers and pick out the perfect piece for the one you love. There is nothing more thoughtful than a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry made locally at Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. Paul Cozy is the guy for all of your custom jewelry needs. Family owned and operated. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. CozyJewelers.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Do you have shoe boxes full of photos? Today only, radio listeners get VIP access to the new Photo Legacy Box. Get your family's photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of 4x6 photos. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media, so you can get your favorite memories on VHS or Grandpa's film reels from the 40s digitized too. Take advantage of this exclusive offer on the new Photo Legacy Box today and preserve your past for as low as 7 cents. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in, everyone. Andy McCarthy, it's always a pleasure to have him on National Review, Fox News Channel. But, boy, the buildup behind the scenes, it's not over yet with Judge Marchand. We'll talk about that. But Jack Smith and what he wants to do, even though he won't get the trial before Election Day, and then the Russian matter. Andy has a lot of expertise in that. Andy McCarthy with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Andy, good afternoon.
Dom, great to be with you.
Well, let's start with Judge Marchand. You try to be generous here, that he's not a complete hack on this, Andy, but you believe he doesn't understand the depth of this immunity situation with the Supreme Court. Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, I'm probably closer, the more I think about it, to hack than to complete misunderstanding here, Dom. I think just to be more concrete about it, he put off the sentencing, which was the correct thing to do, but this should have been the no-brainer of all time, because there's a profound immunity issue now in the case because of evidence that Marchand let into the case involving Trump's official acts as president that didn't need to be in the case and that he should have excluded from the case. And I don't know if that's because he didn't understand the immunity issue. There's a lot of suggestion in the record that he didn't have a good grasp on it. But for whatever reason, he let this evidence in, even though it was very clear that the Supreme Court was giving very serious consideration to presidential immunity. And then a month after the trial, issued an opinion that showed that exactly what Merchon led into the case shouldn't have been led into the case. So the sentencing should have been postponed because there's an immunity issue that no matter how Merchon rules on it, Trump has a right to appeal it immediately before the sentencing takes place. Merchon said in his opinion last week that he was putting off the sentencing basically because we've now gotten very close to the election and he's not comfortable going forward with it. But that's the wrong reason. I think the reason that the sentencing had to be put off was because of the immunity issue. And I think Merchon probably doesn't want to say that because it's a big mistake that he made, and he doesn't want to cop to it.
Yeah. Andy, on the other front with Jack Smith, who is somebody who definitively knows what he's doing, I'm not saying it's correct, is the play here what they're trying to do, speeding up, and we're going to hear something about January 6th we haven't heard before, in order to further throw the election, that meme out there and that narrative, Trump will destroy democracy if elected. In other words, he can't get the case heard, but he can put into evidence or publicly leak, however it happens, more information about January 6th.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tom. The Supreme Court has basically closed him off from being able to get this case to trial, which was what he and Judge Chutkan wanted. They wanted to get Trump convicted in the run-up to the election of the big, January 6th case in order to have an impact on the election. They're not going to be able to do that. So the next best thing that he's got available to him is the Supreme Court told Judge Chutkan to go through the allegations in the case and figure out what's a official act of the president that has an immunity attachment to it and what isn't. And they're going to use that as a pretext for putting out whatever negative information they have on Trump. And Judge Chutkan is obviously letting Smith do that. But I don't think any of us should be surprised because that was the objective in the first place.
Any surprise, anything we should be looking at that has political consequence with all the legal maneuverings here, one way or the other, Andy, before the election?
I really don't think so, Dom. And I'm not saying, look, he could have explosive information, but I think at this point, unless somebody gets up on the stand and testifies to something under oath in a compelling way that's very disturbing, if this is just going to be disclosures by a prosecutor, I think people take that with a grain of salt at this point because, again, the objective here has not been to vindicate the rule of law. It's been to have an impact on the election. And I think, we all watched January 6th live as it happened. So most Americans, no one's saying that it was good, but most Americans have made their own decision about what that, what's to be gleaned from that and where it stands in the great run of issues that people have to take into account when they decide who to vote for. And no matter how much the Democrats want to jump up and down on the table about how important it is, I think voters have just made up their mind about it.
Yeah, I mean, the tell I would bring up if it comes up in the debate when Trump's prosecuted tomorrow night, Andy, is people are not charged with insurrection here. If they had gone forward and charged insurrection, then we'd say, all right, they're serious about this. In their mind, they're willing to risk this. This is that serious.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, and I've said from the start that look, if you want to hold Trump criminally responsible for acts of violence, we're not talking about moral culpability here, and we're not talking even about political culpability, which would be relevant in an impeachment proceeding. We're talking about you're going to bring the guy into court. He's got due process rights like every other accused criminal or someone who was accused of criminality. And if you want to accuse him of a violent crime, you have to accuse him of a violent crime. But don't accuse him of a bunch of other crimes and then just say that that's the proxy for holding him responsible for the riot. They have to prove that, and they haven't done it.
Absolutely. So, Andy, when do we see you on Fox News Channel again?
Oh, I don't know. I think it looks to me, Dom, like everybody's kind of 24/7 on this debate tomorrow night and holding their breath on that. So I'm hoping I get a couple of days to lay low in the tall grass.
All right. And how are the Mets doing? Playing the Phillies soon?
Oh, yeah, we got 7 more games with the Phillies.
No, not that you're counting. No, right, yes.
No, not at all. Right. But they won 9 in a row until Sunday, and then, every time they get me believing again, Dom, they lay an egg. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Talk soon.
Thanks, Dom.
Andy McCarthy here on Talk Radio 1210. Coming up, big 1 o'clock hour at about 1:15. We'll talk with 2 people who are definitely involved, Joe from South Philly and Leanne Savaloff, that South Philly mom, with this flag waving tomorrow night at around 6:30. How do you register? How do you participate? It's to welcome President Trump to town. More on the side question, too. Jump in at 855-839-1210.
This Merrill Reese update is brought to you by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
Perhaps it's too early to judge the new kickoff rules. The change was meant to put kickoff returns back in the game. Instead, kickers are booming it into the end zone, and the offense lines up at the 30, which frankly shortens the field by too much. Another objective was to eliminate the danger of high-speed returns. It's only the beginning of the season, but this doesn't look like a keeper. This is Merrill Reese. People ask, is PNC just a boring bank? Well, that depends. Is starting a business boring, or being the first person in your family to go to college? For nearly 160 years, they've done the hard and occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results for their clients. To see what boring banking can do for you, stop into any of their local branches right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association member FDIC.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. It's time to call an audible. These high utility bills are getting out of hand. Make your home cozy with new windows.
Right now at Window Nation, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There's no limit on how much you could save. Plus, you could save big with no interest or payments for 24 months. Call Window Nation today to schedule your fast, free in-home estimate or visit windownation.com.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats Rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. Just one day away from the big debate and a couple of days away, don't forget, from our evening with Don Trump Jr., who we may hear from tomorrow, previewing Coming to Collingswood. And if you want to get in on it, remember I told you on Friday, we have a big final sale, huge savings. Tickets remarkably priced now for that final person now. Finally, they know they can come that night. Go to 1210WPHT.com. You'll see a promo code put in flash, and you are going to be with us on this Thursday night. Should be a fabulous night. You'll meet all the regulars there, I know, and a bunch of dignitaries, and Don Trump Jr. post the debate and exactly what happens. I plan to lead with that, to talk with him about that more than anything else, but there's ample stuff out there that he's involved in. J.D. Vance also involved in brokering the RFK Jr. deal to endorse President Trump. I'd like to see RFK Jr. out there more. I'm not sure when we're going to see that, but 1210WPHT.com. It is a heck of a deal. If you checked it out before, check it out again. You'll see exactly what I mean. Get your seats. Still some good seats left. It will be a fabulous night. By the way, we told you on Friday, Dan had this, that the National FOP has endorsed President Trump. So the spin is still going to be, and that's what we just heard with Andy McCarthy, the spin is going to be, wow, how can the Fraternal Order of Police, they're saying, Huffington Post, for example, just endorsed a criminal. When have you seen the police endorse a criminal? Now, the idea that what we're seeing here is the same thing as endorsing somebody who commits a violent crime or something that has had sentencing, for example, that's why the sentencing is important, is ludicrous. But even with the FOP national endorsement, the argument they're facing is, well, you guys are endorsing a criminal. I better watch it a little bit. We know that progressives, Democrat Party, are not fond of cops. They're anti-cop, in fact. And I told you on Friday that the local FOP says that, there's going to be one endorsement. The national FOP has endorsed President Trump. It's a no-brainer. Why would they not endorse the prosecutor? Why would they endorse the criminal? So expect a lot tomorrow night around the issue of this criminality, 34 felony counts, to be throwing that out there. I don't think the ABC hosts will do much to distinguish that in any way, shape, or form. Put it in any context, it'll be up to President Trump. We're waiting, and every Monday we used to do this with Scott Presler. We're waiting to hear the Pennsylvania registrations, what the change is, Democrat and Republican, and Luzerne County. If Luzerne County flips, it's more emotional fuel for people to realize what's happening here in Pennsylvania is very doable for President Trump this time around. He's in a much better position than the last time. So it becomes a question. Look, I see Tucker Carlson, to me, and look, you can call me, you can tell me whatever you want. I'm going to tell you honestly, because I have one goal here, to win, and particularly to win Pennsylvania. It doesn't help. He brings on another expert saying 20% of mail-in ballots are fraudulent. That's ridiculous. And it doesn't help what we've been trying to do with a lot of people who are just as dedicated to winning to get over the finish line, and we've given you the arguments. Last week, he has the Holocaust denier on. J.D. Vance said over the weekend's got to jump in, and they're going after him. And I wanted to ask this. There are certain things that are not cancel culture. Is that a new 11th commandment that you're supposed to say, well, let's entertain the idea. What idea am I entertaining of? How many things, gravity might be one, are incontrovertible. The Holocaust is incontrovertible. Now, if you want to start arguing the numbers, I'm going to ask you, why are you arguing the numbers? There is no doubt about what happened. And some cockamamie historian with Tucker Carlson dragging J.D. Vance into this is not helpful. There is no debate. What's the debate? Well, that's cancel culture. No, it's not. There are things. Now, if the person says, yeah, I was mistaken on this, I apologize. Okay, I'm not saying it's the end of the world for their whole life. But the idea that we reopen this kind of wound with the Holocaust and the political damage it does to be playing around with guys like this, that's not cancel culture. This is factual. Don't you wonder about someone who wants to, well, shouldn't we be exploring everything? How much more do we need to explore it? How much more evidence do you need? Thank God we have footage. We have testimony of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. So Tucker Carlson is, at this point, a negative. Now, you may not like that. You may get off on all this wild stuff. But that's a fact to me. It's about winning Pennsylvania here. And it's definitely doable. Republicans doing better, mail-in balloting. You think Sean Parnell is going to be involved in something? Or does he get it when we have him on to say, if we don't do this, we know what's going to happen. They're going to squeak through here because we're not using every advantage. Early voting, mail-in balloting, election day, all-out turnout, continuing to pump people to get out there and vote in one way or another. All right, so 855-839-1210. Isn't it at the end about winning? The Cheney endorsement is remarkable over the weekend. I've had former Vice President Cheney on 6-7 times. His wife was a better guest, Liz Cheney. And the idea that they can, it's one thing to be, let's face it, a lot of it with Trump is about the fact that the Cheneys, Liz and Dick Cheney, are about military intervention. So let's go through it with Dick Cheney if you forgot. Military intervention put American lives on the line. Yet, Dick Cheney did not join the military, did not make a decision to do that, had, I forget how many deferments, which absolutely was legal. But then how in the world are you that much of a neocon? How in the world are you that much of a person who wants to constantly intervene, endless wars? We know what that means. Americans are going to die. Even if the numbers are relatively small, and many times they're not, each life is precious. Dick Cheney didn't want to do that, but he wants to intervene. Liz Cheney, the same thing. They resent Trump. Some of it is just establishment-based. He's not the establishment. But they resent the idea that we are not going to be involved. And I still think this is Trump's biggest legacy. It's not the Supreme Court. It's not any number of things. It's getting the Republican Party to turn away from wanting to be involved in these unending wars. That's exactly what it is. That is the biggest thing. All right, side question today, coming off Dan and the Musselmans. Jump in, hit us with yours. Don't wait to the very end. We may not have time for you. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to talk with two people that are the leaders. And how do you get there? Because it's going to be a little bit difficult to get to 6 in Cowa Hill tomorrow night at 6:30 when President Trump apparently at some point. What'd you say, Dan?
It's going to be a nightmare out there.
Yeah, I would say park north of it. You may have to go fairly far north.
Are you walking from here, or are you going to drive down? And
to the convention center?
Yeah,
I'm working that out.
Yeah.
I think you can park at 4th and Market. Where
okay, yeah, that makes
it's a media spot.
Yeah.
That's my hope. Or maybe somebody's going to drive me. We'll have to talk to Greg about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want someone to drive you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the spin room is going to be one of a kind. I'm not sure who we'll run into. That might be the side question tomorrow. Who would you like to see in the spin room? But I have a feeling there will be, on both sides, maybe the Democrat side, I can't even imagine. I don't think Cher will be there. She wouldn't travel.
No Cher?
No Cher. But could you see Hulk Hogan there? I think that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're anywhere around, the big-time celebrities will be in the spin
And a
race.
lot of wrestling history here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Joe in Columbus. And, Joe, you're in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dom. Hey, Dan, if you ever get to talk to Springsteen, there's only one question only you need to ask him. Hey, Bruce, what do you think of Ronald Reagan now? Because he hated Ronald Reagan. But, Dom, what I wanted to talk about was this spin on Shapiro's assistance on Kamala's flip-flop. I come from that engineering trade in the petroleum field. There has been regulations put in place forever, safety regulations, proper drilling regulations. What all of a sudden did he become aware of that made that industry safe? And what are the practices that do not make it safe? That's what somebody needs to ask this guy, because they were all against willy-nilly against fracking without any kind of knowledge in it.
No, that's exactly the point. And that's, as I said, if the moderators are doing their job, both with Trump and Harris, they have to do follow-up after follow-up on a big issue and ask, again, what's the evidence? What is it that made you change your mind?
It's always been in place. And I know what the dangers are. I know what the impacts are.
Right.
They should have done a study 4 years ago. They should have wised themselves up to that 4 years ago. For them to do this flip-flop, it's totally invalid, and that's what people need to bring out.
Well, exactly. And as I said, fairness in this, the moderators can ask Trump about his positions on abortion, how they've evolved over the years. Trump has explained them, but they can say, well, we need to have more. How about this? How about that? That's all fine. That's their job. That's what I'd be trying to do. And not a million issues. Just take one or two. That's about all the time you're going to have. And in an extended, I'm talking 8 to 10 minutes it would take of this. And then Americans can judge, is Harris changed on something like fracking? We all know she hasn't, but let's see if she can make the case.
And it's what Bernie Sanders said this morning.
Yes.
Hey, folks, it's to gather votes. That's all it is.
All right, what's the brand for you, Joe?
Those late-night munchies, Doritos.
All righty. Thank you, Joe, very much. I think that was VP Harris, too. That was the choice. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210. We're coming to you. And next we'll talk with South Philly Joe and Leanne Saviloff, the South Philly mom, about the flag waving tomorrow night and how do you get there, how do you register. All straight ahead, Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
We as a station and a company cannot turn down political ads, nor would we.
I figured
stop.
that was happening.
Stop. Just stop. Oh, my ears. Oh, my God.
Just like you'll hear Democrat ads during election season here, just like you'll see Trump ads on Channel 3. Channels and stations can't turn down other sides or play favorites, right? Yeah. It's got to be, and they just take the money anyway. Exactly. We love the money.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Back to school? Make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student now for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online at newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Life can get hectic. Wouldn't you love to retreat from the noise?
Take a breath. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's oldest and largest Catholic retreat house, located on a stunning campus in Chester County. Surround yourself in God's beauty while you step back, reflect, and recharge. Malvern Retreat House hosts men and women's retreats, plus couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. For retreat information and schedules, go to malvernretreat.com. Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice.
Enhance your home's curb appeal with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding.
Our high-quality products offer style, security, and energy efficiency.
And you can choose from a wide selection of styles and finishes from major brands like Anderson or Provia.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us online at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement, confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey is lying to seniors. Listen to this whopper.
We're lowering prescription drug costs. We're lowering prescription drug costs.
Lowering prescription drug costs? Not even close. Prices for medications are soaring. Casey's had nearly 2 decades in Washington. He hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. Casey even voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits. That's right, Casey pushed higher taxes on seniors. Casey also voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Seniors are already struggling with sky-high prices. But instead of helping, Bob Casey is trying to fool seniors and hide his failed record. Casey has had nearly 20 years in Washington. What's he given us? Higher costs and higher taxes. That's the real Bob Casey. He's wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT. Blindsided us. So tell everybody in South Philly, generations of families who don't leave, who have college degrees, who sit there and stay in their community, who raise our children there. Because for you, that's the street you go down when you go to an Eagles game and a Sixers game. You don't sit there and live in that community. You don't walk on date night like my husband and I do to Passyunk Avenue. You don't take your kids to the daycare like I do. And what about the mothers who have to sit there and walk by, step over the bags to take their kids into the daycare? Are you going to clean our outside? I don't care about inside. I care about needles outside. I care about bags outside. I care about what my children have to see at 6 and 10 years old that I have to explain hardened drug addiction. This is unacceptable, and you were a sneak about it. Look at us when we tell you, Mr. Rendell, you were a sneak. I will not call you governor because you are no longer governor. You're a sneak.
All right, don't mess with South Philly is the theme of this. And if you want to support President Trump, we've been developing this since last Monday. Dan and I were on Labor Day with Jim, and we got this story about the fake Kamala Harris Eagles thing. By the way, it's day 7, and no arrest in this, even though you have people taking credit for it. Wow. I guess it's okay to break into SEPTA, cause all this turmoil, you know, all the back and forth with the Eagles, copyright infringement. Nobody wants to do anything, Dan?
No, apparently not. And I did get a comment from Winston Zhang, the artist, who was originally the artist who put this out, and said he had nothing to do with them appearing at the bus stops. He just, put together the art, and somebody else took it upon themselves to put those all throughout the city. Passing off the blame.
So it is a conspiracy then.
Yeah, I'll read it. The absurd poster of Kamala Harris wearing an Eagles helmet is my artwork, but I don't know how it ended up at bus stops in Philadelphia. My work uses brands and advertising to communicate societal issues. On one level, the poster is a parody of the ads we see along I-95 promoting the official beer or the official accounting firm of the Philadelphia Eagles. But the title of the work is political endorsement, and that's the issue at hand. Why the F do we care who Hulk Hogan or some corporation endorses? Yet here we are, and I think the strong reaction we've seen to this satirical endorsement is a reflection of our times. Art speak aside, it's been made very clear that Kamala Harris is not the official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles, much to everyone's dismay. Now visit PhiladelphiaEagles.com/vote and go register to vote. Sincerely, Winston, official artist of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, yeah, look, I know Republicans are busy with a lot of stuff. Thank God we have people that say, well, wait a minute, who did it then? Who conspired with him to go to 7 locations and do this? How many dummies thought, well, maybe they did endorse Kamala Harris? All right, joining us are Leon Savaloff. You heard her in that take. How many years ago was that with Governor Rendell? And Joe of South Philly, who has ridden to the rescue around the poster.
No, it was at 2020, it looks like, about 4 years ago.
Wow. And now also is part of the organization of this flag waving to celebrate and support President Trump. I guess as he rolls down 6th Street is what people are anticipating. Leanne and Joe, welcome back to Talk Radio 1210. Hi, guys.
Hi, Dom.
Hi, Leanne. Thank you very much for joining us. So, Leanne, how did you get involved in this? It's all things South Philly, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I mean, ask how I got up to Bellevue 4.5 years ago. My friend on the phone was the one who said, I got a sign for you. I said, all right, I'll do it.
Okay. So, yeah. Joe, you guys not only have, along with the RNC, the flag waving, as we understand it, we're at 6 in Calla-Hill at around 6:30, but you've started to get shuttle transportation from South Philly because it's going to be really hard to park there.
Yes, Tom. And on that note, listen, if you need a ride, we got the bus ready for you.
Ooh, where are we going, Joe?
Where are we getting the bus?
We'll pick you up wherever you need to. The bus is going to be down on 10th and Oregon, down near the original Cookies Tavern. You know, South Philly's home for veterans. Every year they do a Veterans Day parade, a block party for the veterans, thanking them for their services in memorial, of course, as well as for everyone that's in active duty. And then we're just going to head up towards Center City. You know, we put a couple stops on the route in case anybody would like to get picked up along the way. And they're in South Philly at Rosewood and Rittner at Brothers 2 Tavern, as well as Big Charlie's Arrowhead East Stadium. Big Charlie Saloon at 11th and McKean. So if anyone would like to come to the event, you know, but doesn't want to deal with the parking issue and everything, you know, our bus will make about 2 or 3 trips between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. To get up to the area. Of course, you know, we have to stop the trips at 6 p.m. because we need to get the bus up there with the final load of people.
Yeah,
so, you know,
absolutely.
You're welcome to come and join us in South Philly and ride on up with us.
All right. That is great. And, Leanne, people have to RSVP, though. I know it's technical. You want to weed out people trying to disrupt, I guess. So where do they go? What do they do?
Joe.
Or, Joe, if you have that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no problem. On the Trump Force 47 website, there's a link that takes you directly to the RSVP button now. And all you have to do is click on it. Let them know you're coming, and you know they'll note that you're coming. You know, and I've been approached on this issue by a lot of people. You know, in that regard, you know, people are saying, well, you know, what do we need ID? Registration and ID for an outdoor event. The purpose of the registration, the RSV request, is so we can have an idea on how many people are up there. Okay. I don't want anyone to think that because they don't necessarily RSVP, they can't come. A lot of people might be in work that day and say, you know what, I want to go join that rally. You know, we're welcoming everyone to come to the rally. Anyone that's interested to come, but we ask that people, we ask that people RSVP so we have an idea of what we're dealing with in crowd so we can be organized. You know, in that regard, Trump Force 47 pointed out to me that they'll be there by 3 p.m. setting up. So you're going to see people around up and down the street. Just go to the area, and then you'll be guided to where you can stand and stuff like that. It's a very open area, very visible. There's like 4 lanes going in one direction, so we expect the cars, the motorcade to be moving smoothly through the area, at a nice pace, so President Trump can see everybody and appreciate the fact that everyone's there for him, in support. Not like how he started out in his New York trial, where there was maybe 1 or 2 people standing outside, during the course of that trial. We know how that turned out. They had a big send-off for him when he got there. I would like to stay and send him off again after the debate, because we know how interesting this debate's going to be.
All right, Leanne, what are the over and under odds that Trump has the driver honk the horn, or he honks the horn himself?
You know what? You guys let me know.
Okay. Dan.
I think it's a win-win either way.
Sure. And Dan tells me, too, Joe, that you can go to my website at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210, on my Twitter, at DomShow1210. You can also register there. Smart thing to do. Helps to make it more orderly, and it's no big deal. So, Leanne, as you're looking at this, where you are in South Philly, do you see sentiment, maybe legal immigration might be the issue? Is there an issue of people that are not going to vote in lockstep just because we're in a Democrat town where you are, do you think?
I'm not sure. It makes me nervous about what's going to happen and what's not. I just say that based on when you hear people come out and you hear the numbers, and then what you see on paper or what you hear reported, you're like, it doesn't add up statistically. It's not making sense. So I don't know. I think just everything coming down to Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, again, makes me nervous all over again.
Well, I feel it's our opportunity, and having people like you and Joe on the front lines of what you're doing every day and the fight that you do, and Jody Delbarb and people like that, I feel pretty good about it, that we have control here. We are going to decide. So, Joe, hope to swing by there tomorrow night and see you guys. 6 in Cowa Hill at about 6:30 is a good time to be there, right?
Yep, sounds great. And Don, just one more point. Jody's going to be on the bus if anybody wants to catch up with Jody.
Okay. That's an added attraction. All right, Joe. Leanne, thank you. Thanks very much.
Bye, guys.
Take care. All right, Leanne Saviloff, Joe of South Philly. Again, a way to show support tomorrow night because there will be protesters. I'm not sure exactly all the spaces where they'll be. A lot of the area will be cordoned off. And the spin room where I'm going to be is over at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Unusual. Usually it would be at the site, but it's an abundance of caution. All right. One issue that, and this has been verified, at least there are charges out there that may come up tomorrow night. What will come up is illegal immigration. So Vice President Harris, even recently, has talked about Haitian groups. And this isn't so much illegal immigration as much as you realize we brought in about 100,000 people. Well, in Springfield, Ohio, it has gotten really bad. I'll say it this way. There are allegations of, people that are there that have come from Haiti, and the stealing of household pets, like a cat who got out, killing the cat, eating the cat, things of that nature. It's almost unimaginable. And I'm looking at a Jersey story, something similar over the weekend, where you have people that have come here and bring cultural values, either religious sacrifice, God knows what it is. So watch for this Springfield, Ohio situation, right in the heart of Middle America, where there are people being arrested, there are more allegations. And again, it's not to say every illegal immigrant or every immigrant doesn't fit in, but it is to say the battle that Americans are facing in places that are not anywhere near the border. Look at New York City. How much more are people going to put up with there of what they've had to endure? I'm just looking at the cost the other day. The budget in New York, as extreme as it is ordinarily, can't withstand this very much longer. So is this the issue that Harris will have trouble dealing with tomorrow night? As far as her change of heart, now how she sees it. I still think fracking is the issue. That's the issue that has the most impact here in Pennsylvania. That's the way to go. All right, let's take one on the side question here. Let me go to Bill in Bucks County. Bill, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon there, Dom and Dan, and a special good luck to Jim Kelly on his 25 years.
Good luck, Jimmy.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on 25 years at 1210. Anyway, I know how you guys love cover songs and all that kind of stuff, and, Shakespeare, whatever. So I got an original song that was done many years ago, and it was covered by Elvis and Hendrix and the Beatles, and it was even featured in the movie Back to the Future. It was Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good.
So you're saying then you need the original. You
He
need
is
Chuck
the
Berry.
original.
Yeah.
That's right, and he dances on stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty clever because you know how I am. I don't know of almost any cover song that I think has ever been done better. I'm talking about a person of note. I'm sure some, things that weren't so good originally, but they were a hit. Somebody may have done them better. But I don't think, and I can't think of anybody doing Chuck Berry better than Johnny Be Good than Chuck Berry. You can't do it.
And it seems like everyone's done it, too. I mean,
Oh,
you said
yeah,
Elvis.
exactly.
Judas Priest has a version I'm aware of.
Wait a minute. Judas Priest.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
Okay.
I do, too.
Yeah? Where's it at? Oh, maybe I don't have
Taylor
it.
Swift do it?
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
No, I don't think she does. Maybe I don't have that. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But coming up, Dan has dug up from the archives. J.D. Vance recently, we'll play it for you, calling attention to what I just said about Springfield, Ohio. So it's not just...
There you go.
Okay.
It didn't sound like the same song anymore.
Wait, give me Taylor Swift doing Eminem. It's better than this. Okay. So it's 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Coming up, we'll play you J.D. Vance on this. It's not so much just the violence, murder, rape, that kind of thing that Americans are experiencing. It's stuff like this where you have different, shall we say, cultural perspectives on this stuff. What's happening in Springfield, Ohio? I told you over the weekend what's happening. Also, remember how much we talked, and I remember it because of the Stanley Cup thing, bashing one kid with that in the school out there in the North Penn School District, and they didn't do anything about it. There were allegations of a cover-up, etc. Dan's been working with the legal team, and hopefully they'll be on Thursday, of a Bristol Township dad whose son was attacked in a cafeteria, and the school district said, that's it, just move on, apparently. Won't show him the video of it. Cited privacy rights because the alleged attacker is a special ed student. I'll give you the details on that.
That'll be Thursday at 1, by the way.
Thursday at 1, perfect. And I think Bill O'Reilly will be on Thursday, too, right? He's got
12:30 on Thursday.
12:30 on Thursday, confronting the presidents. And in addition to that, we'll break down, nobody knows Trump better. In this debate, all Trump has to do is stick with policy. I know the temptation. I know Harris will try to provoke felon, this, that, and the other. A couple of one-liners that he's practiced that he thinks will work, that are funny but not over the top. That's all that's needed here. And it's a win because the momentum is Trump's way. Don't give any opportunity here to stop where Harris is going at this point. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Hey, how are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue 1210 for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements is designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your health, your heart health, and do it today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call 800-26-LIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time. God bless America. There's hope. There is so much hope with joy and laughter.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
Chase wants everyone to be able to have a place of their own. That's why we offer mortgages that help you purchase your new home with down payments as low as 3%. To find out more about our low down payment options and other ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality, visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. Loan amount, loan value, and loan product type limits apply. Geographic restrictions may apply for jumbo loans. Products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Other limitations and restrictions apply. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Very pleasant and quiet conditions remain in place through the week. Plenty of sunshine today, high temperature a bit below average at 79. Clear and comfortable tonight, low 60 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. A bit warmer on Tuesday, the sunshine continues with a high 81.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. So this whole matter of Haitian, Springfield, Ohio, some of the cultural differences. Here's a little bit of J.D. Vance calling attention to this.
I don't have that up anymore, Dom. Give me 1 second.
Okay. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. You got the side question today. Some products so good you cannot accept, you will not accept the knockoff. It's pretty clever, the cover song situation. All right, but Vance getting involved in it. After all, it's Ohio. Here's what he said.
Chairman Brown, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to submit a letter for the record from the city of Springfield and our state, the southwestern part of our state, which I think highlights a very real example of this particular concern, straight from the horse's mouth itself. Now, this letter, I want to quote from it. Springfield has seen a surge in population through immigration that has significantly impacted our ability as a community to produce enough housing opportunities for all. Springfield's Haitian population has increased 15 to 20,000 over the last 4 years in a community of under 60,000 previous residents, putting a significant strain on our resources and ability to provide ample housing for all of our residents. And end quote there. And Mike.
No objection. So
thank you. In my conversations with folks in Springfield, it's not just housing. They're trying to build 5,000 new housing units, which is a very Herculean task in a town of about 55,000 people. But it's also hospital services, it's school services, there are a whole host of ways in which this immigration problem, I think, is having very real human consequences.
All right, so don't be surprised if this makes it into the debate tomorrow night. And again, what Trump has to do is be spot on with the details, put it in there as an example of what Americans are experiencing. All right, that's point one. She's going to counter. Why are you telling me? I'm not in favor of this. All that Vice President Harris has said, there has to be consequences. Now, I don't care how many times she says that. I would keep on asking it. And if she says that's my answer, then you have to say, well, we'll let people decide. What are consequences? What are the consequences for people coming into the country illegally? Dan also has some sound from the city council meeting, a woman speaking about feeling unsafe, Springfield, Ohio.
I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard, and I can't. Look at me. I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me?
All right, well put. And again, notice the touch there of saying, I understand protective status and all, not some just wingnut. Again, Harris has decided what she's going to say. Well, that's not me. I'm not on board with that. I don't like this stuff. But again, this isn't the border. This is the protective status of Haitians. That's where there's a different debate here, and Trump, I think, is going to bring this up tomorrow night. I don't think ABC is going to bring it up. One thing, too, I say this every debate. Now, I'm going to be in the spin room, Dan. There's a media filing room where we're going to watch. And you know, when I'm on with Walter Sterling, I will give a blow-by-blow of how the media types, remember, I'm not a journalist. I'm a, opinion maker, so to say, whatever term you want to use. Yeah, what would you call what we do? Well, and I'll kind of relay that from the spin room. But I think it's going to be pretty harsh on President Trump. I don't know how many people there that are, quote, journalists are going to be going with this. And the spin afterward is going to be enormous around this. The point being, though, that this is a legitimate area to get into with the Haitians, protective orders, et cetera, versus Trump's vision of what he wants America to be and what Americans want. And they don't want to be under siege. All right, so we'll see. By the way, Dan, I don't know if you have the sound effect, Danny. If you don't, you remember it. Trump on Truth Social this morning says the final debate, small print is in, no boxes or artificial lips will be allowed to stand on during the upcoming debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. Yeah, you knew you'd have it. That's right. That was for Bloomberg. He mentions it. We had this out previously with former Mayor Bloomberg. When he was in the debate, he was not allowed to lift. I said hello, Philadelphia! My all-time favorite. It would be a form of cheating, and Democrats cheat enough. You are who you are. It was determined. So Harris is apparently 5'4" without heels, but with heels. So everybody going to have to wear flat shoes? I'd be against that. If it's in a debate, the woman can wear however high the heel she wants. That's my policy on this.
Trump should show up with, like, stilettos as well.
Yeah. Well, remember that Ron DeSantis got caught heightening.
It's true.
And I understand why, because it does matter to people. I mean, I can imagine if I'm standing, Henry, if you or I were standing next to Dan in a debate, do you think he would have the advantage, or would he look kind of freakish that he's so tall?
Ouch.
That's a good question. It depends on how is he holding the podium? Does he have his arms at his sides?
Right.
That's all. That's what I think about. If he's holding the podium, I think he might look weak and foolish. But you're standing straight up, chest puffed out, you're talking with your chest, and we might be in trouble.
We might be in trouble. Uh-oh. All right. See, so even there, and you're about 6'2", Henry, I think. Even there could be a disadvantage. But with heels, she's about 5'6.5", they say. And Trump's kind of slouchy now, but I think he's every bit of 6'2". He might be 6'3".
Give her a box to stand on.
Yeah.
You're just giving him ammo at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you gave her a box to stand on, Trump's going to put that up and say that position's almost as phony as the box you're standing on. He's not going to let that go. You're not going to get away with Trump in this. If somebody had a toupee on, he'd go after the toupee. All right, 855. But Bloomberg, it was a real detriment, Dan. He's only, who else has this issue? And I haven't been near him in years, but in the spin room tomorrow night, I think Josh Shapiro, I think he's under 5'6". He might be 5'6". And you can say all that you want, how people are so superficial, right? My former producer just came by, Jim.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, that's the guy, Dan. When a guy screamed something at the Mayfair Diner, this guy took care of business very quickly. Oh, my God.
Got everybody in order.
The guy just ran out the door and jumped on a bus. Yeah. All right. So 855-83. Is there a Dan time today? I know it's been a long week. Okay, all right. There will be a Dan time coming up. Don't forget at 2 o'clock, we're going to talk with one of the president's lawyers, Alina Abba, about some of the ongoing cases. What does she say about Jack Smith and what they're going to try to do with Trump next? We have Dom's Money Melody for a big prize. Hope you're watching tonight at 11 o'clock. I don't know if it's 11 o'clock straight up on CNN. I'll be debating Solomon Jones, who's a local talk host on African-American radio, about the debate tomorrow night, since it's here in Philadelphia. We'll have the sound tomorrow. I know a couple of the people, Dan, that booked me, so I don't expect any funny business. One of them is that guy that was a producer at WOR in New York that I told you about, the New York Borowski.
Oh, yeah?
Not on the air, behind the scenes, not on the air. No, he's not a Borowski on the air. All right. 855-839-1210. You get in right now.
Hey, everyone. It's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-224-8517. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-224-8517.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-224-8517. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-224-8517, or go to oxcarcare.com.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Stan time
I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says.
with Dom.
All right, it is Dom time. Talking about Springfield, Ohio, J.D. Vance, and all hell breaking loose there with, small town, overwhelming number of Haitians placed there. Let's go to Bill in Bucks County on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill.
Hi, Dom. How you doing today?
Good, Bill.
Now, I've listened to what you said with J.D. Vance. I grew up in a small town in western Pennsylvania called Charleroi, Pennsylvania, southwest of Pittsburgh, old steel town southwest of Pittsburgh. And the same thing is happening there. Okay? When I go home, I don't recognize my hometown. It's completely and totally changed. The patient that moved in went as far as like they're opening up businesses on Main Street, and we're actually putting signs in the business windows that non-Haitians weren't welcome in their business. Now, the police and the city council made them take that all down, so that's went away. And like the Charleroi School District, the entire time I went to school in the Charleroi School District, English as a second language was never an issue. Now the school district is struggling to find teachers who, for the amount of Haitian students that they now have in the school district, that are English as a second language. So it's not just happening in Ohio, it's happening in southwestern Pennsylvania too.
Do you know why the landing? I'm always curious about how did they land in that town, in that area, Bill? What do people say? Who is it that was it some congressperson that suggested that? Is there something there? Because when this happens, it's a real clash.
Well, the only thing that I can figure, and I've never heard anybody actually say, but Charleroi is kind of an old, dead industrial town from southwestern Pennsylvania. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people who moved to this area, to Bucks County, who moved out here to go to work at the Fairless Works when the steel mill shut down in that area. And a lot of its housing is like cheap. Like you can buy a 1,200 square foot single family home for like $30,000.
Wow.
Because the area is depressed. There really aren't any jobs. As a matter of fact, they just announced this week that I believe it's Anchor Hawking has a glass plant in Charleroi where they make Pyrex that they're going to close down, and that they're going to lose 300 jobs there. Okay, and that was just within the last week that they announced the closure of this plant. I think a lot of it's a very economically depressed area, and I think that it attracted the people because it's like housing cheap, and if everybody's getting everything paid handed to them, it's like, and they really don't necessarily need a job. It's like, why not?
Thank you, Bill. Thanks very much. Look, I'm convinced this is going to come up in the debate tomorrow night. There are people out there already, Dan, so that I know you're always on top of this, saying this is a fake, J.D. Vance, it's a fake. Now, others saying, no, this is going to come up in the debate. We just played the woman in city council. Now, the eating of the pet and all that, all I know is police are investigating. But if there's any evidence of this going on with various forms of worship using pets in that, there are apparently ducks that were beheaded, allegedly. This is the type of thing where people feel invaded. Do you think you would see a story like this on the main line? Doylestown, Chestnut Hill? No, I don't think so. Why should these people have to put up with this? All right, one of the Trump lawyers, Lena Abba, with us next. A Big Dom's Money Melody on Talk Radio 1210.
Pending approved credit. Offers cannot be combined. Excludes taxes and tax. Take an e-car, buyers. This time of year, Jack Dell and the team at Dell Chevy know it's all about penetration. Good, sustained market penetration. Are you ready for some savings? Score with end-of-model year savings at Dell Chevrolet. No need to fight for every inch at other dealers. Dell Chevy always sees a hole and gets right up in there with the Dell Vehicle Exchange Program. Right now, get out of your old car or truck and into a new vehicle and keep your payments the same or maybe even make them less. No holds, no illegal touching, just clean blocking from bad deals. Buy with no money down and 0% financing every day at Dell Chevrolet. Don't get caught from behind. Keep running to Dell Chevrolet for end-of-model year savings. Dell Chevy is close, located on Route 30 in Paoli. No matter where you are, Phoenixville, Westchester, Delaware County, you're just minutes away. If you're worried you're going to pay too much for your next car, you don't know Jack. Online at DellChevrolet.com. Se habla español.
Jack, sell them for less.
The Cubs make their way to South Philly on Monday, September 23rd and Tuesday, September 24th, both at 6:40, and Wednesday, September 25th at 6:05. Join the action and snag your seats today at Phillies.com. Be first in line to secure a 2025 Phillies season ticket package before the public on sale with a deposit. Get benefits such as price savings, great seat locations, and more. Reserve yours at Phillies.com/season deposits.
Following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
The air is cooler, the leaves are changing, and football is back. While the players are making moves on the field, you can make the ultimate move with a beautiful engagement ring from Cozy Jewelers. Still not sure? Hey, the holidays will be here sooner than you think. So stop into Cozy Jewelers and huddle up with Paul Cozy and pick out a custom engagement ring that will make this the most magical holiday ever. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Cozy Jewelers, located in Newtown Square, or CozyJewelers.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navient tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. We got a great Dom's Money melody today. We're waiting on Alina Habba, one of the president's lawyers. Wanted to ask her about, in the debate prep, by the way, it's not just Tulsi Gabbard. It's Matt Gaetz is one of the other, I don't know if you call it with Trump, debate preppers. They sit around, they talk about it, they go through some things. Look, I'm of the camp that I think Trump has really been preparing this time, not in the conventional way, and that's good. You know, I guess it's fine publicly to say, I'm just going to show up, I've done this before and all. I like the idea of preparation here. The Harris people, Mayor Pete is an example, have been trying to lower expectations. This is always the game. This is cut forward, Dan. Here's Mayor Pete trying to say, man, Harris is going to need superhuman focus tomorrow night.
So there is a new New York Times poll out this morning, and it says 28% of likely voters said they still need to learn more about Harris. Only 9% say that about Trump. What does she need to do at the debate to fill in those blanks?
Well, I think the main task will be to make sure Americans understand the difference in visions and are reminded that they already agree with her on the issues that matter most to them. But that's going to be challenging. I competed with her for the Democratic nomination, and I had the honor of being involved in her debate preparations against Mike Pence. She is a very focused and disciplined leader, but it will take almost superhuman focus and discipline to deal with Donald Trump in a debate. It's no ordinary proposition. Not because Donald Trump is a master of explaining policy ideas and how they're going to make people better off. It's because he's a master of taking any form or format that is on television and turning it into a show that is all about him. But the less we're talking about him and the more we're talking about you, the better it's going to be for the vice president, because she has laid out an agenda. Things like making sure that our tax code is fair and protecting a woman's right to choose. That is, of course, the opposite of Donald Trump's agenda, which has been around tax cuts for the wealthy and his record of destroying the right to choose. It's, again, an extremely challenging task in the face of all of the distraction, whatever outrageous things he does and says, because they will require a response, and yet you can't allow him to change the subject from the difference between his very unpopular set of policies and record and her vision for Americans' future.
Amazing. Lower expectations and make Trump the other. He's so different. You know, anything that you do is fair game, democracy going to go away, that kind of stuff. That's what it's about. All right, we have, I'm coming to you on the board here, 855-839-1210. Here's one more cut from that town council meeting. So it's not just one person making these arguments or just J.D. Vance about Springfield, Ohio, and other places across the country where we bring in 100,000 Haitians here and then other groups, and they don't fit in, and often there could be criminal behavior like in New York. Here is an African-American citizen there in Springfield standing up at the town council meeting about what he says is going on with this group.
Because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day, and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, y'all can be comfortable with this. I don't know, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, like, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get, like, a task force for the Highway State Patrol. And they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for, like, going left to center and, like, a couple miles over. Like, y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic. They need to, y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive, because it's getting bro, I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a T-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is.
All right, we got the point, Dan. He lost me on put on the Crocs. I don't know about that, but yeah, keep that cut, please. As his story develops, and look, when you have in Chicago, New York, or in this case, Springfield, Ohio, African-American at a town council meeting, or you see the media cover it, right? And it comes back to being overrun by this. And that's why when you look at the most recent polling, this New York Times Siena poll, Democrats historically, for example, have to reach 64% of Latino voters, overall, men and women, in order to win, to be solid to win. She's only at about 55, and it's lagging. Trump's at about 42 to 45%. Among African Americans, he's at about 14, 15%. Not overwhelming, but around the edges, that's what's happening. And this is one of the biggest issues. That guy seems genuine to me. Does that sound like an actor that came up with all those specific things? 855-839-1210, you get on board. And when people hear these pet stories or snatching up ducks and beheading them, that really puts a point on this everyday tension that's out there. So I think it's a safe prediction. Something like this is going to come up tomorrow night. Trump is going to reference it in some way. Harris has said very recently, we have to protect the protected status of the Haitians that are here. Not 5 years ago, but recently, she's doubled down on this. And this is different than just illegal immigrants. I mean, these are people brought in, maybe 100,000 or more. And usually it would be in Florida that people are tired of this. But Springfield, Ohio, it's like The Simpsons. We're playing this stuff. Is this all made up? Okay. So Alina is on the phone with the president.
Yeah, she's on with Trump right now.
Well, wait a minute, Dan. That's a news flash. As soon as she's on, well, what did she... I
don't know what they're talking about.
What did he... God knows.
I didn't ask her personally.
Does she not know it's Dom time?
I'm trying to put this dispute. Her employer, the former president, probable president-to-be, Dom Giordano show. You're right, Henry. Good move by you. She's overruled. She ought to be the phone now. Put Trump on hold for 4 minutes. The country
He's a patient guy.
Yeah, he's a patient. Oh, man. No, maybe Trump will say, well, we'll both get on together. And they can talk it out right there. I mean, how big could the strategy be? I play a lawyer. She is a lawyer, but that's the only difference. All right. So hopefully she'll join us pretty soon here. Let's go to Roger in Atlantic City. He's got a pretty good point, I think. Hey, Roger, good afternoon.
That you took, you said save that cut was epic and organic. He said who's benefiting from this? Somebody must be getting paid by this, and the non-government organizations. Maybe 98% of billionaires in this country, other than maybe Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, a few, want open borders, cheaper labor, bigger markets, and the media can't really attack those people for obvious reasons. I mean, the Murdochs been giving money to the Clinton Foundation. Tell me those Haitians don't have something to do with the Clinton Foundation. Doesn't have something to do with the Haitians ending up
that's one of
in
the
Ohio
biggest.
or
But Roger,
Charlotte.
where I think it was going to go, and look, I stand in line second to no one when it comes going after the Wall Street Journal crowd on this, is also all these groups that get paid to ferry them to these various parts. Sadly, some of them are involved with the Catholic Church.
A fraction. But mostly it's Soros and his disciples. They did a thing like this when Obama had 7 wars going simultaneously, and they were emptying out Syria and Libya of military-age men and flooding the cradle of Western civilization, Western Europe, with these people, these high-propensity for crime immigrants. It was done with the same group, the same pool of money, the same non-government organizations with an assist from intelligence agencies. And that, if you don't focus on the source, you can't blame the immigrants, and you can blame the Democrat Party, but that's misdirection. It's the same. Some of these people are also bankrolling the Republican Party that want cheaper labor. And you see them on Bloomberg. You see them on CNBC. They say how open borders are good. They're not good for the middle class. They're not good for the Constitution, and they're going to vote Democrat eventually. So if the conservatives on the radio and the Republican Party doesn't call out the money behind this massive wave of crime from immigrants, then the Republican Party is doomed as we know it.
Thank you. But look, we're not defending the Republican Party. I agree with you. I just named the Wall Street Journal, no more Republican than that, the Catholic Church and the billionaires and the cheap labor and all that stuff. You're exactly right. And that's why the Trump mission, the MAGA mission, this is at the heart of it. And I'm trying to distinguish, this is not illegal immigration here necessarily. This is a stroke of a pen. And what Trump ought to be going after Harris on is his policy on this. He's not going to do this stuff. And she might fall into it to say we have to protect people like this. How dare you? Because she does support, at least until now, this protective status for Haitians in America. There's a difference here. This is a spot where Trump can distinguish himself. All right, we'll probably hear from the president's lawyer shortly. So let's take a shot every day at what we call Dan's Dom's Money Melody.
Has all the money gone?
All right, Dan, we are playing today for a pair of tickets to Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. at the Scottish Rite Auditorium, Collingswood, New Jersey, September 12th, this Thursday. Each ticket also includes a copy of Letters to Trump. Tickets are on sale at 1210WPHT.com. Go now. Remember, huge sale going on if you don't win the tickets today. Promo code is there. You will see a big reduction. It's down to $120, including handling charges and everything. In the book is a $100 value. So you're set. Join us this Thursday. Dan, backstory.
Yeah, Don, this one comes from our friend Dave Koski, right-hand man of Ed Snyder, and he sends over this from Casey Kasem's America's Top 40, this little factoid. So, Don, this band spent some time in the Billboard Hot 100 back in 1977, but both Casey and Dave argue that the only reason they charted was because they avoided a fateful night, a fateful flight. They were supposed to fly on the plane of Leonard Skinner when it went down, but they had their offer rescinded, and because of that, this song kind of exploded. So, Dom, a band that's kind of been lost through time, don't perform anymore. We want to know who the artists are that had their lives saved by the decision to have their offer rescinded for their flight and later becoming famous because they opened for the band. And, Dom, I got to tell you, there's not much of a more opposite band than this one to open for Leonard Skinner. Take a listen. We want to know the name of these guys.
And I'm falling, oh, I'm falling in love.
So, Don, we want to know the name of the artist today, the originals here. And again, they were supposed to be on the Leonard Skinner flight that went down. They were the opening act. And I don't know who the heck booked this concert, but not really a good opening act for Skinner, I gotta say.
Yeah, why would they be?
Yeah, right?
Theorize. What's your theory? Why?
I guess it's just some kind of record deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
I don't have exactly why they were supposed to be there. Yeah.
All right. So we're looking for the band name today.
Maybe
right?
it was a contrast thing. Yeah, we're looking for the band name.
Lull him to sleep, and then you get Skinner to come out and he gets pumped up.
That's exactly what it is. Go out to the yacht first before you have some beers
Very,
and shoot
very
some,
weird. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Harris and Joe Biden in reverse. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board, jump in, and you're going to be with us this Thursday with Don Trump Jr. As I said, just after the debate, fabulous night, a lot to talk about, and you'll be there bonding with us as we hear what happened during the debate from the inside. 855-839-1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Retired minister Sam Lepore believes you practice what you preach. Phil Cannella and Joanne Small practice what they preach. They too are protected by the exclusive crash-proof retirement system.
You know, if you're talking about something in your life that you want to share with somebody else, if you're not doing it yourself, then you're a fake. And Phil is not a fake. He's crash-proofed. I mean, he invests in his own crash-proof retirement system. And I said, you know, that gives you joy. And you can see it in his face. Crash-proof retirement has really helped me to have joy. I'm so excited about it that I cannot stop telling people about it. I was looking at the market and seeing 500 points drop. I mean, that's crash. I'm really lucky to be crash-proof.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats Rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Free speech lives here.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone? Show me the money. All right, Dan really out of left field today with a yacht rock group.
Yeah, why not?
That was the opening act. Let's hear the clue again.
For Skinner. It makes no sense.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm falling. Oh, I'm falling.
All right, let's go to Alice in Maple Shade on Talk Radio 1210. Alice, good afternoon. What's the name of the band?
Hey, is it LeBlanc and Carr?
Wow. It's stunning.
Pull out from Alice.
Who the heck are LeBlanc and Carr, Dan? Alice, we will see you on Thursday night. You'll be able to tell me how you knew that, Dan.
Yeah, right. So this one came from Dave Koski. He sent it over because
Right.
he's a big fan of Casey Kasem's American Top 4. I can't do it. I'm not going to try an accent. But no, he wanted to point out that it's such a juxtaposition between this and Skinnerd. You have Yacht Rock here versus Skinnerd, but went on to a long career, Lenny LeBlanc, performing Christian music and such afterwards. But this was his big hit, made it Billboard charted solely for the reason that after that plane crash, everyone was curious who LeBlanc and Carr were, and this kind of spurred out of that. I have no idea who thought it would be a good idea for this man to open for Skinnerd or anything, but they did a whole national tour together.
All right, we are happy to bring you on our tour. Just off the phone with President Trump, apparently. She'll cite the Fifth Amendment or something here, Dan, but top-notch lawyer, one of the president's lawyers you've seen throughout all these legal situations. Alina Habad joins us again here on the Dom Show on Talk Radio 1210. Alina, I hope you had a good call with the president. We're happy to wait.
Sorry about that. Business duty first. Duty first. We got a busy day and a very important debate tomorrow, so we're getting up and ready.
Absolutely. Well, you are an excellent person, too. I'm not sure if you're in the preparations or the part of it. Given your legal background, given your TV presence, etc., with the debate tomorrow night, they got what they wanted partially, the bogus 36 felonies. How would you say President Trump should deal with that when the prosecutor brings that up?
Well, I think he has to remind everybody why that happened and how it happened and who was behind it. And I think that that's what, frankly, has gotten most of America to rally behind him in the past 3 years that weren't already behind him. So a lot of independents, and we're seeing a lot of voters that have never voted before come out and say that they do not want lawfare. They do not want a DOJ that protects one party over another. They want them to protect Americans, no matter what your affiliation is. And this lawfare is part of the problem, if not the entire problem. And he is a perfect example of it. I mean, literally, if you look up lawfare in the dictionary, his face is right on the front. And that's just very un-American. That's what they do in Venezuela. We don't do that here. So I think he needs to, my advice would be, frankly, to remind everybody that it is her DOJ that did this. These cases were old. They're stale. They're ridiculous. Their lack of merit is clear, and they're failing as a result of it. And I think the American people know that.
Alina, if you had to on this too, there's a vibe in the air, because they think the average person is stupid on this, that we don't want a president that's king, as if the Supreme Court said you have complete and total immunity. So dealing with the immunity thing, how would you try to parse that out and characterize that if the moderators don't?
Yeah, so immunity, presidential immunity has been in place not for Trump. It's been in place since Nixon, since prior to that. And we've had immunity in place for a very important reason, to prevent lawfare. And that immunity affects all presidents, not just Republican presidents, so that they can go and do what they need to do in a situation room and bomb somebody that is threatening our country and terrorists, and not be worried that they're going to come out and get sued for it. That's really the critical thing. And immunity is a well-established law. We have laws, case laws, Nixon v. Fitzgerald, that have established this. We're not creating new laws. That's what they do with the Adult Survivors Act in New York, for instance. They are, it's what's good for them when it's good for them and not when it's not. But the truth is, these are old laws that we as Trump's attorneys, but also as any president's attorneys, would argue are important in place to have systems that work. And by the way, we have checks and balances in this country. We have that for a reason. So there are ways that you can, impeach a president. There are ways that you can check the president, the executive branch. But those are already structured through our Constitution and through decades.
And Alina, I don't know about you, I'll speak for myself. President Obama killed an American citizen without going through all kinds of legal ramifications. I supported him in taking out that terrorist, and he didn't get impeached. He didn't pay a price for that. He had immunity because I think...
Did he go to jail?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly.
Now,
You got to do your job. It's the only branch of government where there's one individual who embodies the entire branch, and that individual cannot be fearful in that role, no matter who the individual is.
exactly. Now, I'll be in the spin room tomorrow night here in Philadelphia. Are you going to be here in Philadelphia?
I will.
Oh, all right, Dan, book that. Get the exact location. Here we go. It's a home run in person. It's worth it just going into the spin room here. So
you will have Hava at the spin room.
So how about you, when you take on all comers when you go into the spin room too? I'm sure there'll be, people hectoring on the other side, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm actually very proud of my relationships with journalists and with, I'm friends with, frankly, both sides of the coin. I think that there's a respect that's missing in this country that I try to bring to the table. No matter what your policies are, no matter what side we're on, we need to bring America back to that. And I definitely try to do that. I'm kind to the Caitlin Collinses. Maggie Haberman's a friend of mine from the New York Times. I think this country misses that, frankly. Just because we don't agree on everything doesn't mean that we can't have civilized conversations. And I've always treated all journalists with respect and kindness.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that. Remember, D-O-M, not Don, D-O-M tomorrow night if we get you on. Alina, okay. I've been told that you're part of the upcoming film by Dinesh D'Souza, who's a friend, and we've done several screenings with him, Vindicating Trump, and it's out on September 27th.
That's right. It's going to be so epic. I mean, what a special person Dinesh is. He's so educated and really cares about this country. He's done a fantastic job. I actually cannot wait to see it. I put it out today. I know he put a trailer out. President Trump is in it. I'm in it. Laura Trump's as well. It's going to be very important for this election that Americans watch it.
Parting question for you, Jack Smith. Now they got the what they wanted, the brand, felon, 36 counts, etc. Smith's game, right. He can't get the trial in the January 6th case, but the game will be sometime, I guess, in late September or early October to, quote, put out something the American people don't know about January 6th as part of the pretrial.
Yeah. How epic is that? Talk about intervening in an election interference at its finest. So we can't get to trial, so let's just put one side of the coin's evidence, but not ours. This is the America that they've created. It's a disgrace. It's a shame. It's a sham. It's 100% election interference, and it has to stop. If you ever have any questions about whether it exists, just look at that order. I mean, that's just a ridiculous situation. This is a guy, by the way, who's been debunked because he wasn't even properly put into his position. So, we'll handle that as it comes. But, they always do an October surprise. They just can't help themselves.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Philadelphia. We will see you tomorrow night. And thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'll meet you tomorrow.
All right, Dan, write that down.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, the spin room. Oh, my goodness. The mischief, the shenanigans. That's not my number one, though. It's Josh Shapiro, I think, unless there's somebody unannounced there. Is M. Night Shyamalan going to appear again? I'll get him this time. All right. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board. You can jump in. And, Dan, let's get Dinesh back on September 27th. He's had you remember that Dinesh D'Souza won the number one Razzie as the worst actor one year for a film that he did? And his rejoinder was, wait a minute, how could they give me that? I was playing myself. He was. How are you a bad performance if you're playing yourself? All right, so I don't know where you saw that, Dan. Did you get an email? Or
she posted up, and I saw the trailer pop up earlier, and I saw her retweet saying that she's looking forward to be part of this.
Nice. Yeah. That added a lot. So tomorrow night with Walter Sterling, around 10:30, I think that's when the debate ends. So I'll be on with him, giving some color commentary from the spin room, and we'll see what guests we can put on. And then we'll tape that, and you'll hear some of it the next day, the highlights of it. But I'm excited because this, for a presidential debate like this, God only knows who might be in the spin room, Dan. You know who I want to see in the spin room? Corey Lewandowski. Oh, man, what kind of shenanigans could happen there?
Really
I'm sure he will be there.
Yeah.
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 But what I'm saying is, a hostile reporter or two, it might be. And I don't. Did they put Caitlin Collins in the spin room? That's my methodology, is to try to interview the interviewers if I can.
He might get the interview then, if that's the case.
Who's that?
Don Lemon.
Oh, yes. Finally
he's
get him
coming
on
back
the
to
show.
Philly, right?
Oh, can you imagine a murderer's row? Well, my mission would be to get him on the show the next day, too, to get something there. And then
See, you had a chance. You should have traded. Say, I'll come on you guys if you send me Don Lemon,
All right, CNN tonight at 11 o'clock. Looking forward to that, or around 11. I don't know what time they put you on. I hope it's sooner rather than later.
What are you talking about?
They want to talk about what do people want to see in the debate here in Philadelphia. So they have Solomon Jones, who is really a legend in African-American radio and writes for the Inquirer. And then they have me on the other side. And what I'm going to talk about is the key word in this debate. Let me write that down. I got so many. I need a different highlighter here. Is change. And will Trump drill down that he is the real change agent? You can't have it both ways with Kamala Harris. She's not responsible, and yet she was the last person in the room with Joe Biden. So will she renounce Joe Biden and everything about him? If she doesn't do that, how in the world does she get to say she's the change agent? What change is she going to do that's that much different from Joe Biden? Could there be a bigger change agent, for ill or worse, wherever you come out? I'd have to say Trump is the number one change agent that we've ever seen in a presidential race. That doesn't mean you have to agree with him. It just means he's different. All right, you got the side question going
I
to.
post that up on Twitter.
Yes.
What topic are you most excited to hear about during tomorrow's
Oh,
debate?
sure. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Let's see what people tell us that we might go with. I'm going to tell them honestly. Okay, look, I know what Solomon's saying. These people hope that Trump mops up the floor with Kamala Harris. I'll put it more politely. That's what they're hoping for.
So should I put as a voter in a swing state, what topic are you most excited, or just leave it open-ended?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, what topic are you most excited to see? I might be missing something here. Watch for this Springfield, Ohio thing. Watch for the change issue. And, again, it's easy to interview Alina when Dan's behind there putting good stuff in. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night, though, Dan. In person, I can just imagine, this is quite a we'll have to talk to the Trump people and say, can we get an exclusive with the media all milling around, and we have her on Talk Radio 1210 for 30 seconds. That's all I need, just to say that. Walter, we have an exclusive here. All right, Dom Giordano Show, 855-839-1210. I told you for years about my friend dentist and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping you overcome your fear and anxiety, and his state-of-the-art facility makes dentistry as easy as can be. My recent experience is a great example. I've told you about replacing this permanent tooth. Fit the first time, no muss, no fuss, bang, right in there. But the cleaning I had recently, too, with Maria, it's just all part of the great staff, the great skill of Dr. Bentz, and then that infrastructure. He has the best that you're going to see anywhere, including that state-of-the-art 3D printer that makes your teeth. It's the Bentz Dental Group. If you're looking for a dentist, if you're looking for somebody who can deal with any kind of fear and anxiety, puts you at ease and comfort, Dr. Bentz, this is the place to go. Bentz Dental Group, B-E-N-T-Z, or call for that appointment today, 610-272-6949, BentzDentalGroup.com, that phone number. Call them now, 610-272-6949.
Very pleasant and quiet conditions remain in place through the week. Plenty of sunshine today, high temperature a bit below average at 79. Clear and comfortable tonight, low 60 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. A bit warmer on Tuesday, the sunshine continues with a high 81.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey is lying to seniors. Listen to this whopper.
We're lowering prescription drug costs. We're lowering prescription drug costs.
Lowering prescription drug costs? Not even close. Prices for medications are soaring. Casey's had nearly 2 decades in Washington. He hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. Casey even voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits. That's right, Casey pushed higher taxes on seniors. Casey also voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Seniors are already struggling with sky-high prices. But instead of helping, Bob Casey is trying to fool seniors and hide his failed record. Casey has had nearly 20 years in Washington. What's he given us? Higher costs and higher taxes. That's the real Bob Casey. He's wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Chase believes that having a place of your very own should be accessible for everyone. That's why we're offering homebuyer grants of up to $7,500 in select areas. It's just one of the many ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality. Visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. The Chase Homebuyer Grant is available on primary residence purchases only, on select products and subject to eligibility. All home lending products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Colonial Marble and Granite invites you to experience a Labor Day sale with the works. Now extended through September 9th, get a fully installed kitchen for just $13,599 with 0 down and no interest for 18 months. Visit any Colonial showroom to discover these and other great sale values. Sale now extended through September 9th. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Very pleasant and quiet conditions remain in place through the week. Plenty of sunshine today. High temperature a bit below average at 79. Clear and comfortable tonight. Low 60 for the city. Cooler out in the suburbs. A bit warmer on Tuesday. The sunshine continues with a high 81.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cheerio Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dan, coming up, I saw this on Fox, and apparently it's about a spice shop in Kamala Harris, and there's one at 3rd and Market now where people are going in and complaining
Spice
about
shop?
something. Yeah, Penzies, I think it's pronounced. Yeah.
I like that.
I'll give the details on that. Side question today, though. Hit us with, this comes off Dan and his cravings for Musselman's. That's exactly where it came from. Yes, a brand name. You have to have the brand name. And you heard Alina Habba talk about this film coming out, Dinesh D'Souza, Trump vindicated. Also, the debate, how to counter this idea of the felonies. I'm a prosecutor, that mode that she always wants to get into. And essentially, the issues that will spring from that. And I think Trump is much more prepared this time around. I think that's what that phone call was about than he usually might, even though he doesn't do the normal sort of preparation. All right, let's go to the Earl of Tacony on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Earl, afternoon.
Hello, Dom.
Yes, Earl.
Yes. I didn't know if you wanted my answer or if you wanted a sample from my new Kamala Harris song.
Oh, that's up to Dan here behind the scenes. You take your answer, I think, Earl.
Well, we'll go with the answer. My answer is Dom Giordano. You got to read the labels and make sure that you're actually getting the real Dom Giordano, because you don't want to accidentally get a Don Geronimo instead.
We remember that all time. Yeah. Thank you, Earl. That is a clip that is almost
audio from the Spice story. You want it?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the Spice story with Vice President Harris.
Yeah, so it's Pittsburgh's Penzeys Spice.
Penzeys,
she
right.
visited on Saturday, and they're known for having very divisive messages that come out with their spices.
Okay.
Making an important statement that it's okay, and if not important, to put country above party. And I'm honored to have their support, and I think it's an important statement right now. A lot of what I think is happening, and I was just talking with some folks here in Pittsburgh about it, is that people are exhausted about the division and the attempts to kind of divide us as Americans.
Kamala?
And them stepping up to make this public statement, I think, is courageous, but also for people like the folks I was just talking with, it really reinforces for them that we love our country and we have more in common than what separates us. Look, it's time to turn the page on the divisiveness. It's time to bring our country together, chart a new way forward.
What is it Penzeys said here that's divisive here?
They have a whole About Republicans page on their website. You want me to read from it?
Yeah.
As we've now seen in our first ever About Us page on our website, there's something unique about humankind's relationship with spices that time and again have caused spices to be a driving force for change. We live in a time calling out for change and for solutions for the very real problems our country and planet face. There's two very different futures ahead of us, totally dependent on whether we solve these problems or not. With so much at stake, we feel obligated to use this unique position spices hold in our lives to try to help promote the solutions to these problems as best we can. Watching the slow decline of the Republican Party over the last half century and the steep decline, bottom falling out over the last decade, it can be easy to see the nonsense that has overtaken the party as pretty much random. Once you start seriously looking at the problems America and the world face and who and what are standing in the way of solving those problems, it quickly becomes clear that there's nothing random to what the Republicans are promoting. Goes on for a while and calls Republicans cruel, racist, and other names.
Wow, and that's the headquarters or one of the stores.
That's their website.
Yeah, that's from the web. Yeah, okay, you're right. Somebody, a police source, Dan, said, Third and Market is Penzeys. Here, apparently, there's a store or something of that nature. All right.
So they say, what does any of this mean? Fact question at the end. Going forward, we would still be glad to have you as a customer, but we're done pretending the Republicans' party embrace of cruelty, racism, COVID lies, climate change denial, and threats to democracy are anything other than risks they legitimately are. If you need us to pretend you are not creating the hurt you are creating in order for you to continue to be our customer, I'm sad to say you might be happier elsewhere. If, on the other hand, you still want the best spices and don't need us to respect what you now vote for us to be our customer, hooray, we are happy to have you here, but know that we will on a regular basis try to wake you up from this dream that has you believing there's anything conservative left at all to what the Republican Party has become.
I wonder what market share they have. Now, here we come with the age-old thing again, Dan. I would say what they're doing here is so insufferable, so obnoxious, that I'm going to check what I wouldn't throw out stuff we already have, but I'm going to tell we're not buying their spices anymore. They're one of the bigger spice market shares, probably, right? I mean, this is just not saying we support Harris. Let's not be divisive. And then they run down anybody who they think is a Republican as causing mayhem that will go forward. I mean, the nerve of this. Do we have to continuously engage in this type of stuff to say that, no, we're not going to put up with it. We're not going to buy your products. So, Dan, we have to institute something where it's an annoyance, but we don't want to have a boycott every minute. Is this the type of thing, kind of like Bud Light, that is where I think it is? It's worse in some ways. They made a mistake trying to appeal to another audience with Dylan Mulvaney. This is just a shot saying, we want your business, but we're going to lecture you? About what? Where do you come down? No or yes?
No, I'm with you. It's just ridiculous that a spice company's coming out and making political statements and saying, yeah, you're Republicans, you suck, but we still want to serve you.
Yeah.
And then Kamala, as a presidential candidate, go and preach togetherness and unity at a company that clearly does not believe what you're preaching.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all just backward.
again, unlike the other side, I take this seriously. We shouldn't be in the business of boycotting. It makes it silly. It's every second of every day. Everything can't be political.
It's very first worldish, too. Like, do we need 6 different types of cinnamon? They've ground cinnamon, China tongue hing cinnamon, Vietnamese cinnamon, Indonesian cinnamon, cinnamon sugar, Ceylon cinnamon ground, cinnamon chunks, Indonesian cinnamon sticks.
Who are these people suddenly? You knew from your spice cabinet. Henry, you got something on that?
Yeah, I was going to say they could probably talk ad nauseum about what the differences are between those cinnamons and why you should buy those cinnamons.
Oh, my gosh. Look at all these peppers, Henry.
That's a lot of pepper.
All
That's
right.
a lot of pepper.
White pepper, black pepper.
Green pepper.
Green pepper.
Szechuan pepper.
I make the argument. I know what Bud Light did to their brand by putting a guy in the whole thing, all right? And it's endless. But this is just clear. It's not saying, well, we endorse Harris. It's a way to, it's running you down in most vile terms. They're worthy of people not using their product until they come to their senses. And in Pittsburgh, too. Oh, all right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. If you're doing your shopping, apparently there's a store over at 3rd and Market. I have to pop in and get some more color for the show around this.
It's the fruit of the sea. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp Creole. Shrimp
Anything to
gumbo,
get Forrest Gump into the
pan
show.
fried.
Anything at all. It is
You
a
know
great
it's gonna
film.
be
It was on the
something
other
that's
night
on
again.
It is a great movie. Right?
It is a great movie. All right, lightning round is next. We'll get a winner today to put your name into the hat. Hey, what a great NFL weekend that was. And you have another chance to start the season with a big return on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sports book. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place that $5 bet. How about building a same-game parlay? I'll give you some of the things tonight. Jets, 49ers. Christian McCaffrey over rushing yards. I love that guy. I would go with that. And yes, I'm rooting for this. I'm rooting that he throws 400 yards tonight, even though I'm not always a fan of everything he says. Take Aaron Rodgers over passing yards. Dan, do you have anything for tonight?
Henry might be the guy to ask.
Henry, do you have anything?
I mean, you kind of took it from me with the McCaffrey rushing yards. I would have done rushing and receiving combined. I believe the line was 114.5.
114.5? Yeah. First game, he's not banged up, we think. Mm-hmm. And if he's not banged up, he's going to come close to that every time, probably.
I think so.
Yeah. You got it there. If you score, remember tomorrow, it was Henry.
Anytime touchdown as well?
I never bet on
I mean,
this.
if he's getting 114.5, you might as well
anytime touchdown. You're not getting much from McCaffrey with an anytime touchdown, though, right?
I think it's probably minus at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know who anytime touchdown you would go with.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall.
That's a great bet.
Brees Lightning.
Yeah, okay. Anytime touchdown. He's one from my script, too. You said the same thing.
I didn't even see it.
I know you did. Wow, we got a new find here at Henry each week with FanDuel.
Anytime touchdown for McCaffrey, minus 170. Brees is plus 120.
Yeah, there you go. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to make every moment more of this season. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NFL, yet be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania, first online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Shrimp burger, shrimp sandwich. That's about it.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers.
Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy.
Tens of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mount Laurel, we know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That's right, Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Enjoy back-to-school savings on a 36-month lease of an exciting C40. Only $369 per month. Down payment, taxes and registration fees due at inception, except no taxes on the C40 in New Jersey. Visit the place to do that, Cherry Hill Volvo. Do it today. All right, side question. Coming off, Dan, with the Musselman's, applesauce, and the whole deal. Brand name, it has to be this in categories. You just can't do without. You will reject it.
Dave the sauce guy chimed in. The guy that always brings the stuff
He's working on it.
Yeah, he's working on an applesauce for me. I love it.
Oh, my God.
Don't know if he'll compare to Musselman's, but...
All right, we'll get Henry's choice one of these days. What a menagerie. Let's go to Chuck, though. This might be close to a winning answer. Chuck in Newtown Square. Hey, Chuck, welcome in.
Great to be on the show again, and great to chat with you guys. Well, look, when I'm thinking about this kind of question, I always think this. All right, what's the consequences of if you use the major product or going to the generic? And you know what? The biggest consequence I can come up with is, well, when it comes down to it, I think I have to ride with the Trojan. I'm not going to experiment because there's maybe a big college tuition coming about 18 years down the line if there's a mistake. All right, so you know what? I'll pay the extra 40 cents or whatever it is, and if there's a consequence, at least I know I did my best to avoid that college tuition down the line.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about planning for the future. Excuse me, honey, I have to check this. The college.
By the way, George, you know those condoms I gave you?
Yes.
They're defective. Don't use them.
That was a great Seinfeld moment. Joe in Bordentown on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Joe, what's yours?
Greetings, gentlemen. Wishbone creamy French dressing, which I put on my broccoli coleslaw, and there's nothing like.
All right,
so specific, Joe. I love it. Thank you,
Joe. Joe has a touch of almost the great man Joe of X in him.
Well, he has the experience. He's Czar of Trent over on Twitter. He's been doing the side question for a while. Just recently started calling. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, very much. That's right. Alan in Hamilton. Alan, what do you have?
Goldberg's peanut chews.
All right. He always says it with such confidence.
Have you ever had an off-brand peanut chew? I've never seen them anymore.
No. I wouldn't do that.
They've cornered that market pretty well.
Bruce in the Northeast, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bruce, afternoon.
Hey, Don, good afternoon. You know, one morning Samantha Stevens on the TV show Bewitched, she wakes up and finds a different knockoff Darren as her husband.
Can you imagine
that? Yeah.
That is very... And by the way, let's Stan, you don't have any dog in this. It's not like Tina Louise and Mary Ann. It's Barbara Eden versus Elizabeth Montgomery. It's Elizabeth Montgomery.
Didn't you backhand ask Pat Toomey which one he liked between the two? And
I think we did.
Gave a very political answer.
was I Love Lucy or something.
no,
He
it was-
wouldn't
okay.
answer the
Gotcha,
question. Yeah, Pat kind of blinked on that.
That doesn't surprise me.
All right, let's see what we have here too. Henry, give me a couple of contenders. You've been taking those calls. What do you think?
I have. So I think the consensus top 3 among everyone in here is Chuck in Newtown with the Trojan condom, Joe in Bordentown with the wishbone creamy French dressing, just because of the specificity, and maybe it isn't consensus because I'm torn here. I'm torn between Earl and Taccone with the answer of Dom Giordano.
Well, thank you very much.
Or Darren from Bewitched.
All right.
All right, I'm going to narrow it down to 2, Dom. Trojan condoms, wishbone, creamy French dressing between those 2.
All right, I think Trojan condom. Yeah.
It's
That's
gotta go.
where
Chuck
we got
and
to go.
Newtown
That
for
was outside the box. That was a great answer. Tomorrow, probably something around the debate or the spin room. Hope you have a chance to listen tomorrow night if all goes according to plan. Post debate about 10:30. I'll be on with Walter Sterling and maybe Alina Haba. Dan, she put it in her calendar. First interview right there. As she comes marching in, I'll bring all the color, all the sights and sounds, and CNN tonight at around 11 o'clock debating the debate. That's the way that I'll put it. Don't forget the flag waving, too. Hope we get a lot of folks out there. Richie always next here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's that time of year again to consider replacing your old